All right, everyone, welcome back. We are diving into a topic that's super important for anyone who's co-parenting.
Mm-hmm.
Communication.
Yes.
You can make or break the whole experience, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to take a deep dive into some proven strategies, all about making co-parenting communication work for you, not against you.
Mm-hmm.
And the ultimate goal, of course, is to create a smoother, less stressful experience for everyone involved.
Right, especially for the kids.
Especially for the kids.
That's who we're doing this for.
Exactly. So why don't we start with the why?
Sure.
Why is communication so crucial in the co-parenting world?
Well, when a family separates, it can really turn a child's world upside down.
Mm-hmm.
And what those kids need more than anything is stability,
Yeah.
predictability, knowing what to expect. And that all comes from good communication between the parents.
Right, because if the parents aren't on the same page,
Exactly.
the kids are going to pick up on that, right?
Absolutely. Think about it. If they're getting different messages from each parent about bedtimes or rules or just like the daily schedule,
Oh, yeah, that'd be so confusing.
it creates so much anxiety for them.
I can only imagine.
And it puts them in this impossible position where they feel like they have to choose sides or please one parent at the expense of the other.
Yeah, it's like that old saying, kids are like sponges.
Mm-hmm.
They absorb everything around them, even the stuff we don't realize they're picking up on.
And it can be really damaging.
Exactly. So good communication between parents helps create that stable, consistent environment that kids thrive in.
It tells them that even though mom and dad live apart, there's still a team.
Mm-hmm.
They're still working together to provide a loving and supportive home.
It's like sending a message of reassurance, right? Like, hey, we've got you no matter what.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it takes the pressure off them to try to manage their parents' emotions or, play mediator.
Yeah, they can just be kids.
Yeah. Plus, let's not forget about the benefits for the parents.
Yeah.
Good communication reduces misunderstandings,
Mm.
avoids those he said, she said situations, and it helps keep conflict to a minimum.
Less stress for everyone.
Right. And it frees up so much more time and energy to focus on what really matters.
Now, I've heard the advice to treat co-parenting communication like a business partnership.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a brilliant analogy.
Okay.
It helps you detach from the emotional baggage that often comes with dealing with an ex.
Which can be a lot.
Oh, absolutely. But when you shift your mindset to we're colleagues working towards a common goal,
Right.
it becomes easier to stay focused on the task at hand, which is...
Raising healthy, happy kids.
Exactly.
Easier said than done sometimes, though, right?
Oh, for sure. It takes a lot of effort and self-awareness to break free from those old patterns of relating.
Especially when emotions are running high.
Definitely.
Right.
And that's why it's so important to be mindful of the common traps people fall into.
Like what kind of traps?
Well, one of the biggest ones is letting past hurts or resentments creep into your communication.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Suddenly a conversation about soccer practice turns into a rehashing of who did what during the divorce.
Right. That's not helpful at all.
Not at all. It just brings up all that old negativity.
And derails the whole conversation.
Exactly. And it's not fair to the kids either.
No, they shouldn't have to be in the middle of that.
Another common trap is getting stuck in a power struggle.
Okay, yeah.
It becomes less about what's best for the child and more about who wins the argument.
Oh, I've definitely seen that happen.
And it's so counterproductive.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we avoid these traps and create a more positive and productive communication dynamic?
The first step is to agree on the communication methods that work best for both of you. Some people prefer face-to-face conversations,
Right.
while others find texting or email less stressful.
Yeah, I can see how email would be helpful because you have a written record of what was said.
Absolutely. That documentation can be really valuable, especially if disagreements arise later on.
Right. It's like having everything in writing protects you from misinterpretations or, selective memory.
Exactly. And speaking of helpful tools,
Yeah.
Have you ever considered using co-parenting apps?
I've heard of them, but I don't really know much about them.
They're designed specifically for co-parenting communication.
Oh, cool.
And they offer some really fantastic features. Apps like OurFamilyWizard and Fair can help you manage shared calendars, track expenses, send messages, and even document important information about the kids.
Wow, that's pretty comprehensive.
Right. Everything is centralized and easily accessible, which can be a lifesaver for busy co-parents.
It's like having a personal assistant for your co-parenting life.
Exactly. And it really helps reduce the chance of things slipping through the cracks.
Okay, so apps can definitely streamline communication, but what about those unexpected curveballs that life throws our way?
Right.
Meetings run late, kids get sick.
Happens all the time.
How do you handle those situations when the original plan goes out the window?
That's where flexibility comes in. And I don't just mean being okay with changes. I mean actively practicing collaborative problem solving with your co-parent.
Interesting.
So let's say your child gets sick and you have an important work commitment. Instead of getting frustrated or blaming your co-parent, you approach it as a team. Okay, what are our options? Can you adjust your schedule? Can we find a backup caregiver? What solution works best for everyone, especially our child?
I love that approach. It's like turning a potentially stressful situation into an opportunity to work together.
Exactly. And it shifts the focus away from the me versus you mentality to a more we're in this together approach, which ultimately benefits everyone.
So to sum it all up, it sounds like the key to successful co-parenting communication is consistency, clarity, and always keeping the focus on what's best for the kids.
Absolutely. It's about putting their needs first and creating a stable, loving environment where they can thrive.
I think that's a great takeaway for everyone listening.
It makes me think about how we could apply these same principles to all of our relationships, not just co-parenting.
Oh, that's an interesting thought.
What if we brought that same level of intentionality and respect to our interactions with friends, family, colleagues?
I love that idea. I think it could make a huge difference in all areas of our lives.
I agree.
So, for everyone out there navigating the co-parenting journey, remember, open, honest communication is the foundation for creating a positive and supportive environment for your children. And it makes your life a whole lot easier in the process.
So true.
You got this.
You do.